Welcome, guys. Welcome to the podcast, man. It's your host, Jeremy Chu, man. I'm back. We're back again today, man. If you haven't heard, man, we are now on video, man.
Yes.
We have now a video that we can show you guys what we look like and what we're doing when we're recording.
I feel like I want to cross my legs. No.
It's up to you. It's whatever you feel comfortable
To
doing.
the side like that.
But guys, welcome back to the podcast, man. Welcome to Discussion Time. I'm your host, Jeremy Chumu. And today in the podcast, man, we're going to be talking about a lot of controversial stuff that you might not like or we might not like. Oh, we're going to like talk about, but you might not like hearing about it and things that you might feel uncomfortable. All judgment is welcome. You can comment down below what you feel or how you feel about the topic that we're going to be addressing today. Mm-hmm. And we're really excited to be here again. Like it's every single time we make a new episode. It's just the energy is always there, the vibe is always there, and the topics are always flowing. So it's like I'm very, very, very excited for this episode just because we're gonna be talking about a lot of things that people might not like, and that's okay. But my bad, I forgot to introduce our co-host today, man. We have the wonderful Michaela. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great as always. It's
like
always great.
I like that.
Yes.
How's your day so far?
My day is going amazing. I talked to my dad, talked to some family members. Now I'm just, working on connecting with family members because it's so easy to get out of contact with them.
Yeah.
Especially like during this time, we all on our phones, social media, and then you don't.
Like the internet and everything else,
Yeah.
like just changing things.
They actually, they're releasing like some studies or statistics to say that people are becoming less social. Like actually, not just because of social media, but just like the times are changing to where people would rather be in the house. They would rather be isolated. And I'm actually one of those people who thrive off of isolation. I was just thinking about this. When I'm by myself, I get a lot of work done, especially inside.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are like that too. But I do enjoy people. I'm a people person. I'm a people pleaser. I love to be around people, but I also love to be around myself too.
I think I'm like that too. I mean, like I like social. I like to be social and like to talk to people. I like to get to know people also and things like that. But it's a different feeling when you're by yourself and when you have that time to reflect on the things that you want in your life and things like that. So, having those times and thinking about like, you know what? It's time for me to reflect. It's time for me to just sit down and, I know what I want. I know what I need and things like that. And like you're saying, not a lot of people are having those thoughts. Not a lot of people want those to reflect on what they need to work on these days just because it's like you want to fulfill your life. You want to fill your life with other things that don't matter just because your life might not work or you might be in some stress or you might not feel like you want to work so hard for this. So you're stuck and things like that. So I agree with you.
Yeah. Actually, I was having a conversation with someone, and this was Sunday, and I don't know the time zone or when this video will be up, but it was last Sunday was the Easter Sunday, and so a lot of my family had events going on, and I wanted to go to all of them on all different sides of the family. And so I was telling someone like, yeah, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there, I'm going to do that. And they're like, oh yeah, so no meaningful time. And I was like, I mean, I had meaningful time, but it made me think a little deeper. A lot of people have relationships just to have
them. Yeah, because like it feels good to be like, who doesn't want to be in a relationship? Who doesn't want to have those type of emotions with somebody or being called on, being worried on, you feel me? Somebody's like checking up on you. Who doesn't want those type of emotions?
Right.
So it's like it's really hard when you don't have that and when you want that and stuff like that.
But it has to mean something though too.
Yeah.
It has to be a meaningful relationship. You have to get something out of it,
It has to be a two-way street.
Yeah, two-way street.
I agree with that. And I think our generation now, we're so filled with like the idea of like allowing so many things to just bypass us, right? So like we won't see the red flags, we won't see the things that matters, we won't see the things that they're doing wrong. We're just like accepting it because of the fact that it's okay. It's like, we weigh our options. That's what I'm trying to say. Like we weigh the options of like what's okay and what's good and what's right. Because like okay, I'm dating somebody and we're together for a long time, or I have a family member that I might be talking to, but it's like they might not be doing the right things in their life that's benefiting my life. Like our
Yeah.
life might not be the same. We might not have the same qualities. We might not have the same values, but them being present might be what you need. So it's like you need to value what you're looking for in that relationship before you expand that relationship to be more than what it is. Because a lot of
Yeah.
people don't do that. You need to establish what the relationship is before you can move forward on depending on somebody that might not be wanting to be dependent on and things like that. So establish a relationship and what you feel like is going on, and then building up from that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my big take on that about relationships. Because I feel like a lot of us now, we just want to find somebody, or we just want to have friends, or we just want to have somebody to talk to. And some of us don't have those type of people, just because of the fact that how can I connect with somebody? It is so hard for our generation to connect with each other, because we all
Tell
have
me
our
about it.
Man, we all have our own point of view. We all have our own things that we want to do in our life. So it's like everybody just want to have their idea here, and nobody want to listen. Nobody want to hear each other out. Or sometimes it's just hard to have those type of conversation with people. So it's like, how do we find ways to better ourselves as people, but also how do we respect each other to an extent where I'm not losing my value on what I believe in, and you're not losing your values on what you believe in.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think you have real friends? And hold on.
I hear that. D, go ahead.
Do you think you have real friends? Like, and I mean
Genuine.
Right,
Ride or die.
confidants,
Yeah.
consultants, people that you can confide in.
I'll say this. I have friends that are friends for the moment. And I'll say this why, because I'm always doing things by myself. I'm always being independent. I'm always like trying to figure out how I can better myself and things like that. And I would say I have friends. I'll agree with you. I'll say that I have friends that I actually have friends like the people that have been with me since middle school until like on junior year. Like I have friends, but
See, that's different.
But
That's school. Now they can be real friends, but school friend is a real thing. I had someone that me and her, we were glued to the hip. We were like sisters.
Yeah.
And as soon as we stopped going to school with each other, we lost contact. Why? Because we were really good school friends.
And then sometimes it's like I said, you gotta identify the relationship before you put a title on it.
Exactly.
You feel me? Like that needs a right there, man. The little
Drop the
boom.
bomb.
But no, it's true. Like what you're saying is true. Identify those relationships before you put a title on it, and notifying that if these my friends for high school, or these my friends that's my ride or die, that's gonna
For
be
life.
for life, and establishing what type of friends they are. Because I can have friends just to have friends, and I
Right.
can be their ride or die, but what they value might not be what I value, and then we might have like a disagreement, and then we come back because we have the idea of like, oh, we're gonna need each other at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So that's where you need to really open yourself up, and me saying, you know what, I love you, I care for you, I want this relationship, I want to be friends. But if we're never going to agree on this type of topic, or we're never going to agree, there's nothing wrong with us being friends. But it's to an extent where I realize the situation, I understand where I need. The title is not that we're not friends. The title is that I'm distancing myself away from that big title of ride or die.
Right.
So it's like that's a lot of time that when kids grow up, and then we just title each other, that's my best friend, that's my ride or die, that's my everything, right? And you do that, and constantly it builds up in your mind, because you grew up just be like, oh, that's my ride or die, that's my everything.
Yeah.
And then when it's not, you're like messed up in the head, because like what do I do? Like, how do I establish this relationship? How do I allow myself to be friends but also not have those type of relationships with that person?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
I like that. But it's just like, man, like what can you do from that situation? Like how do you build that up? And,
Right.
And let me ask you the question: do you feel like you have friends?
No.
Why?
I actually had a conversation with. I have several conversations with older people, and so they would also tell me about like their friends and how they have real friends, for life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's such a blessing because I don't have that.
Yeah.
And I thought for a second it was something wrong with me. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything wrong with me. I think I'm fine.
I think you're perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I don't have any true friends. I've had really, really, really good school friends. I've had friends because of mutuals.
And y'all just know each other.
And we just know each other, or we just grew up together.
Yeah.
But I don't have any real friends that I can confide in and who I can tell, my secrets to. 'Cause I'm okay.
It's a different type of feeling. And you know what? And I agree with that. And I genuinely, it's different. I agree with that so much because I'm a type of person that's like, I'm open to like an extent. Like I would tell not everybody, but I would tell certain people like, yo, this is what I go through, things, because it's easy to tell those things. Like to be like, oh, I was bullied, or I was, sad for little days. Those little things are not that big when it's like those big parts of your like depression or being sad for real, or not being loved or feeling like you're not worthy and things like that. Those big emotions, don't nobody really talk about them with their friends.
Yeah, with their friends,
right?
And truthfully,
and being open, knowing that you're not being judged, or that you're not being put down and things. So I agree with that because my friends, yeah, they're here for me. They're like, I know they're my ride or die. They're gonna be there for me.
That's
and everything.
What's up.
But I don't allow myself to open up that deeply about some emotions just because of the fact that it's like, how would I go about them? Like, yeah, we talk about certain emotions that are allowed to be talked about, but there's emotions where I don't allow it to happen just because I know that I just can't. But then there's certain people, like that's when I feel like if when I do get in a relationship, my partner is my best friend. It is my ride or die.
Yeah.
And that's where I open up to a different extent where I know that she's not going to judge me. She's not going to value me. She's not going to undermine me. She's not going to make me feel like I'm not worthy. She's not going to make me feel like I can't do anything. You feel me? That's why I open up more when I'm in a relationship, or I give myself more, because I understand that she's doing the same 100%. When you're hanging out with your friends, you don't know what they're doing.
Right.
You don't know how they're feeling. You don't know if they're giving you 100% back. You don't know if they're texting their friends about the situation that you told them. And I don't know. And that's where trust plays a big part in. But sometimes, what can you do? But that's just me. And when I'm in a relationship, I give my 100% into it because I know that she's doing the same thing.
That deserves a bomb. Giving 100%. Don't be in a relationship with someone who... Some people say 50-50, but it's 100.
Ain't no 50. Ain't no 50-50. It has
you
to be
give all,
both ways.
I give all, and together we great.
And if that end up being in a friendship, you have to allow those type of like 100% to be allowed in that friendship. Because if it's not, you would never be a good friend. You would never be a good partner. You would never be a good counselor. You would never do anything good in your life. If you don't give 100% in what you're looking for. So it's like, like I personally, I mean, like, if I'm being honest, like, I don't cry.
You don't cry?
Last time I probably cried was like when some like crazy thing happened that was like me probably getting in trouble, like for some serious stuff. That's probably the time I cried. But I realized like I don't do that anymore. Like I don't allow myself to really feel this emotion because I was talking with my ex about
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. You said you don't allow yourself to cry.
Yeah.
Guys.
Talk about it.
You talk about it.
I'm about to. I think because it's a deeper feeling than I've thought about it a long time. It's like it's a lot, man. It's like being a man. That plays a big part too. It's like you're a man. Like, if you see yourself crying like this, another man see you crying, and then another woman see you crying, how do you present yourself? Questions like that pop in my head. Like, okay, like I'm a man. Like I gotta hold up to my standards. I gotta do certain things. I
Okay.
can't be looking weak. You feel me?
Okay.
So those ideas do pop in my head when I'm about to, like, you know, cry or like do some other emotions. I'm like, man, suck it up. You got this. Figure it out. And I figure it out. And things work out. But at the end of the day, those emotions still rise back up to the top. And
Yeah.
I end up feeling them at a certain time.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like lately it's just been like I've been trying. Like it gets to like a little tear. Like a little, it'd be like I feel like coming up. I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, I'm good.
Well, I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I used to hate crying because I thought it was weak. And when I would cry, I'd be like, all I'm doing is wetting my cheeks.
Right.
Ain't nothing else going on.
And you're
I'm not solving the problem. So I understand where you're coming from. But I've reached a different level of elevation with myself where I do allow myself to cry. I don't cry a lot because I can deal with my emotions.
Right.
But
And that's the difference, though. Dealing and not allowing. Like, where do you see those? Where do you feel like those things bend? Because if you don't allow yourself to cry, that means you're taking
suppressing.
Right, you're suppressing your feelings. But if you know how to deal with your emotions, knowing that, okay, crying's not to solve my problem, so I'm gonna find a solution.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. I just listen. When I think I need to cry, I'll let a tear loose.
Just let it glow. One tear down.
Yeah, like the last time I cried, let's see. Oh, okay. So my grandmother, she passed away. I think it was November. And someone got me the most heartwarming gift ever, and it made a tear come out. Little tear. But other than that, like, I don't think you should cry to, you know,
suppress.
Yeah, not suppress, but like to cover up your emotions. Like some people just cry and they still don't deal with what needs to be dealt with. So I completely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. Allowing your emotions to be felt, man. Like, if you're out there and you feeling like you want to deal, you can't deal with the situation that you're going through, and you feel like the emotions that you're going through is too heavy for you. Like, you got to find somebody to talk to, or come talk to one of us, man.
Or talk to yourself.
Talk to yourself. And I think people that don't talk to themselves are crazy. I talk to myself.
I like that. Do you hear your voice or do you hear a different voice?
I hear myself. Is it weird?
I hear myself.
Because when I talk to myself, I literally just like, I be doing things. Like, I probably just be walking down the hallway or if I'm just like walking, I'm like literally like, man, Jeremy, you got to get this together. Like, you feel me? Like, you got this, man. You're the one. Or I literally go through a scenario. Like, if I'm about to go, let's say if I'm about to go talk to somebody. I go through the scenario, how that's gonna go. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing? I'm like, I'm doing good, man. You know, I don't know. I think if you don't talk to yourself, you're kind of weird, because it's like you need to talk to yourself and let you gotta hear how you feel.
Right.
You feel me? Like, that's that thing. I mean, that's probably like, for me, my best thing that I kind of have is that even when I do feel the sadness and, you know, all this stuff, I just be like, man, Jeremy, you got this going on. You got this going on.
You can talk yourself out of it.
You feel me? I talk myself out of it, but sometimes it's like you don't want to make yourself feel like you're not talking yourself out of it, but you're allowing yourself to feel the emotions that you don't want to feel. You don't allow yourself to just tell yourself what you want to hear, but allow yourself to feel the things that you don't want to say out loud. That's what you need to do, man. That's what it allows you to do once you talk about those emotions. A big bomb. Bam. But no, that's good, man. Like, guys, man, you gotta allow yourself to feel these emotions, because if you don't, maybe you might be going through something, and this is what we're really talking about today. Like, allowing yourself to feel these emotions, guys. If you out there, you feel like you can't talk to nobody, come on the podcast, talk to us.
Yes.
Or find contact with one of us, and we're always here to listen, always here to talk about anything you guys want to talk about. Man, guys, if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you can get notified every single time we upload, man. And subscribe to the podcast, share it, upload, all that stuff, man. We're always here to listen, always here to be back.
Yes.
But we'll see you on the next podcast, man. Peace out.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.